Hi. So in this video I just want to talk about some thoughts that I had the other day, and I've continued to have them related to the topic of the video, which is probably going to be something along the lines of they don't all hate us, and yeah. So anyway, basically I did the electric driving job again, but instead of getting a taxi to the place, this guy actually came and picked me up, and I'm communicating to him in Chinese. He's communicating to me in Chinese on WeChat, like just simple stuff like, can you work tomorrow, and whatever. So he came to pick me up at the house. He drove this electric BMW, and he was really talkative on the way. Like, obviously my Chinese is not great, but I could understand probably 50-60%. I mean, we kept it pretty simple, and definitely driving there, we kept it pretty simple. So I did the test. Unfortunately, I couldn't drive really fast this time because the test track was really busy. Like, there was there was over 15 electric trucks there, and there was 3 or 4 electric cars being tested as well. So at the end of the test, they actually did say to me, so this is for driver assistance technology, so they want to test it on all sorts of different looking people, because the cameras are following your face and following your eyes and whatever. I don't know a lot about it, but that's what it is. It's not like a white monkey job per se. But anyway, so I couldn't go really fast, unfortunately, but they did say that they took this device out of the car, so I could have driven it fast if I wanted to. But it was just, it was the wrong day to do that. But anyway, so I'll go back a bit. When we were walking from the entrance of the testing area to the testing place, which is 600-700 meters, he kind of surprised me, because he was really humble. Like, he's the boss of a company, but he just sort of parked the car at the gate, at the boom gate, got out of the car, and then sort of very politely, there's a guard booth there or whatever with mirrored glass, and he knocked on the window, and I thought, this guy's in his 50s and he's a big boss. I sort of thought, wow, he's a pretty nice guy. He's very humble. I sort of normally expect those kind of guys to be like, bam, bam, open the gate, open the fucking gate. But he wasn't like that. He was very humble. And then I said to him, you're very polite. And he was like, oh, I don't know if he really even had considered it, but yeah, that's how he was. And then he parked his car, and we walked underneath this bridge. It's a huge area, the testing area. We walked there together, and I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. He sort of is happy to go for a walk, and he didn't want to, I guess, busy up the area with his vehicle. So I thought, oh, that's quite sort of interesting. And he talked to me on the way, and he was telling me about the flood control measures of Tianjin, and he was very proud of that. And a bit of an insight into how the Chinese think about their country, and particularly the era of the 60s and 70s, because a lot of people have this view, that a lot of foreigners might have this view, that nothing good happened then, but a lot of flood prevention measures were put in place. And anyway, so I did the test, driving back, and he was so talkative and so friendly, and he drove me all the way back, and a part of my impression might be a bit coloured by the fact that he paid me much more than before. So I was like, whoa, I was so happy he gave me this big thick chunk of Chinese money. And so maybe that's a little bit, maybe that's a part of it, but I don't think so. He was just a really nice guy. And it's it made me, and then I've just been riding my bike a lot. I've been going to the gym and back, and trying to have a healthier life. I'm on an upward spiral. And I've had a couple of times where drivers are kind of beeping at me or whatever. I'm just riding my bike. And I thought about Sapenza and his hatred of these middle-aged guys. And look, we stereotype them, they stereotype us. If you read the comments on social media, and I'm not going to pretend that I read them, I just read them via Translate. I'll just read them on WeChat videos or Douyin videos, and I'll translate them. If you read those comments, a lot of the comments are very nationalistic, and they might not be very kind of, I guess, fair to foreigners sometimes. Like if there's a video about foreigners, it'll often be very, very vicious and very savage to foreigners. But I think that's what led those guys, and direct comments on their videos and direct comments on Chinese social media about them. Maybe that, I know that's what pushed them in that direction. But those guys do have this hatred of middle-aged men and like bad uncle, or they call them, I think Sapenza calls them like creepy uncle or spooky uncle, or he's got this kind of phraseology that he uses to describe these guys. And I just sort of realized, like, I don't know, I'm not saying I'm a really smart guy, but I guess I kind of do have some insights and some wisdom. And I just sort of, yeah, I'm able to sort of think about societies, I guess, a little bit. I mean, I went to university. Without sounding sexist or whatever, middle-aged men, so men like my age and then 50, 60, this kind of age, if you don't like the men of that age of a country, you pretty much don't like the country, because those are the people that are controlling the country. They're running the country. Sapenza and those guys, they kind of have this idea that, like, the young girls in China, they're good, and a couple of the young people are good, but that's not the country. Like, the country is men that age. And I'm always very polite, and I think this is very smart of me, because those kind of guys that age, it is their country. I'm in their country. It's their country. And I'm always cognizant of that. I'm always aware of that. So men are angry. A lot of men are grumpy. If a guy looks at me in a horrible way, and it happens quite a lot, or snarls at me or whatever, which does happen sometimes, it's water off a duck's back. I don't know what's going on in that guy's life. Definitely, I know one thing, life's not easy. And as far as I know it, life's not easy for Chinese guys either. But it's like, they stereotype us, we stereotype them. They stereotype us, they say that we're naive, or they say that we're mercenary, we're just here for money, or we drink too much, or whatever. And like a lot of stereotypes, I guess there's a little bit of truth in all stereotypes. And we kind of, I mean, I'm not speaking for all foreigners, but a lot of foreigners in China, we stereotype them. We kind of always assume that they just tolerate us, and they're sort of not really that excited about us being here. But what this experience showed me with this guy is, like, some of these people are quite special, and it's not just because he gave me money. I mean, he's got such a kind heart, like such a very open-minded person, the way that he talked and the way that he thought about things, very clear and not biased, not ideological. He's a man of the world and just a really nice guy. And there's a lot of them like that. And look, I've always believed, I've always had the experience. I've never met someone, you don't meet people like this where it's like, oh, this is Tim, I went to university with him, he's a lawyer at this law firm. Oh, wow, okay, how are you, Tim? Yeah, I'm pretty good. I don't like black people. Oh, you know, normally people with those kinds of attitudes are people who are losers. I mean, it's very uncommon to meet people who have those kind of views. So I've never really worried about those kind of views, because I've always thought, well, yeah, it's sort of a move. It's a movement of losers. All of those sorts of people are always. I mean, yeah, lose is the wrong word, but people who definitely haven't been able to. They don't feel like they have any agency or any power in their life. Perhaps is the polite way of saying it. I'm not saying that I'm a big winner or something, but I mean, loser, winner. It's sort of, yeah. I mean, it's not a great dichotomy. It's not a great way to talk about things, but you know what I mean. I mean, you're more likely to meet a sort of a semi-employed person or whatever who a person who's just struggling to make it, and then they see someone and they're like, oh, I don't like that guy, or I don't like people like that. But I just wanted to put that all out there and just kind of say, like, don't let negativity win, because you can look at things in a nihilistic way, and there's a lot of realists in the world who say that the world is like this and you just don't get it, man. But it's those experiences that sort of smack you in the face. And I had the money in my pocket. I counted it as soon as he drove off. I went for a little. I went to the gym actually after that. Yeah. And I counted it on my own when I got home. Actually, I think I did. I counted it again. I counted it carefully when I got home. I put it all out. And but what I couldn't get out of my mind was the fact that this guy was just this man, this gentleman. He was just so similar to the best people I've ever met in Australia, and the best guys that age. And the bad guys get old, but the good guys get old too. And yeah, I might be kind of rambling a little bit, but I just want to say, like, there's a lot of good people in this country. A lot of good people in this country. And if you come to China as a foreigner, it's wonderful, because you might get to meet them. You might get to meet them. You know, there's a pretty big chance you'll get to meet them. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And if anybody's looking for a job, send me an email. There's still a lot of jobs. I mean, it's just such a huge country, and there's a lot of jobs. There's so many jobs. Every city, there's hundreds of cities, and every city has like dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs. So it's not stopping. Don't let the negative news reports or whatever, and I see them on YouTube, China's collapsing and China's in a deflation, downward spiral and all this kind of stuff. Don't believe it, because there's still a lot of opportunities here. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. I've said that before, but yeah, if you've watched all the way till now, hope you're having a great day, and bye-bye.